taking you too far. I'm getting you so strong. I'll give you everything that you have never seen before. Baby, closer, baby, closer, baby, closer. Never try to dumb me. Baby, closer, baby, closer, baby, closer. Never try to dumb me.
I want nobody tonight. Want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight. Want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight.
Let me hold you, let me hold you, let me hold you, my baby. Make I hold you, make I hold you, make I hold you, my honey.
If I could be everything you want, let me take you around to the whole wide world. My one and only, my pretty girl. I'll give you everything where you ever want. Show me your love, show me your love, show me your love, baby. I want nobody tonight, want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight, want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight.
Let me hold you, let me hold you, let me hold you, my baby. Make I hold you, make I hold you, make I hold you, my honey.
I want nobody tonight, want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight, want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight.
Let me hold you, let me hold you, let me hold you, my baby. Make I hold you, make I hold you, make I hold you, my honey.
I want nobody tonight, want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight, want nobody tonight. I want nobody tonight.
Oh, I know you must have heard this a million times before, but girl, here I am. I wanna say some more. It's so amazing how you let me in your life. I'm so glad that when I know you've been open the door to your heart, make I enter. Your love is the purest thing that I ever felt, and being with you is the sweetest dream that I ever dreamt. Take it from me, yeah. With you is where I'd rather be. Oh yeah, yeah. And these are just some of the few things I wanna let you know. Climb the lights off and I will climb it with you. Baby, believe I'll never let you go, because with you is where
Hello, good morning and welcome to Kaakaki on Africa Independent Television, AIT. I am Adora Onyeche.
I am Fenomil Hemohai. It's bright and it's early and we're delighted to be with you. Thank you for joining us on this Friday edition of the show.
So, thank God it's Friday. I was afraid to say that and I was like, okay.
I didn't say it because of you. You're always accusing me of saying it, so I let it be this time. I let it be. But anyway, it's still thank God it's Friday. And it's particularly a special Friday because it's the first day in the month of June. The month we have been waiting for. Remember I told you yesterday that there is a secret in this month. Well, I'll let the bag out of the book. You know how Nigeria celebrates June 12th? You know, you remember what that day is. It's the day some people feel should have been Democracy Day, where it's a special day for someone who's sitting right beside me.
What's the problem? Tatafo.
June 12 also happens to be Adora's birthday, so we're counting down. June 12.
Yeah, right. Tell me about it now.
Anyway, so while you remember Moshood, Kashimawu, or Lawale Abiola, Olaleko Abiola, Olawale Abiola. While you remember MK Abiola, also remember Adora Onyeche.
You know one thing, I do not like to be reminded because people say June 12th is doomsday. So when I tell someone I was born on June 12th, they say, are you June 12th? Oh, no, please don't come near me badly.
Oh, no, I don't agree. I don't agree with that.
All right, to say so. That's the Navis point of view. I don't know your point of view. Well, this morning we bring you the good news that Lagos State government has recalled sacked medical doctors in the state service. Yippee!
That's indeed good news, because the truth is, at the end of the day, it wasn't the doctors or the government or the Lagos State government that were suffering from it. It was the citizens, Lagosians who generally needed their doctors and couldn't find any other time they needed them the most are the ones who really, you know, bear the brunt. You know, like they say, when two elephants fight, it's the ant that suffers. I think the Lagos State government deserves our congratulations for recalling the doctors, knowing that the ordinary Nigerian resident in hospitals for all their health care challenges.
Well, I know that, you know, some of the threats by the enemy and, of course, the resident doctors to go on strike, I think, must have pushed the government a little too far and said, you know what, we don't want dead people on our hands, because at the end of the day, what would be the reason why they're not receiving medical care? Is because they're on strike. And why they're not on strike? Because it's doctors. So
I agree with you, Adora. You see, it's someone who I describe as big on the inside, that will, you know, whenever they make a mistake, come forward and say, you know what, I've made a mistake, and I'm willing to make amends. So I'm taking 2 steps back, looking at what I've done wrong and making it right. And again, big congratulations to the Lagos State government, and thank you from the people of Lagosians.
But one thing I would say is, before I carry on, is the doctors out there, I know this has happened and you've been in the call, but it's not an excuse to actually throw your weight around. And the first thing you have to understand is that your service is to humanity first and not to your state. And your state, even if I say it's not to your state, you still are responsible to your state because you are serving the people of Lagos State. So yes, you've been recalled, but I think that we should know how to express our grievances without letting other people suffer for it. But I will join you to congratulate the Lagos State government and the doctors for resolving their differences. But Tsunami, I must say that these doctors have always used strike to blackmail many governments into doing their bidding, and that's why I actually said, you know, they shouldn't take things too far.
I completely agree with you, Adora. True, doctors are not the only public workers, and to demand almost the entire state budget as call allowance, special salary scale allowance, and refusing to work until these allowances are paid makes out the doctors as mere trade unionists, you know, competent mostly in demanding for welfare. Indeed, like you're right, Adora, to have said that, you know, a lot of times doctors should always remember the first reason why they are called doctors. They're meant to save lives, and no one undermines, you know, the importance of a doctor. Nobody. I think anyone who does that will be doing that at their own peril. It's only a foolish person who will say he or she does not know the importance of having a doctor around. We all do. So we do not take our doctors for granted by paying less, but it doesn't mean that we should demand heaven and earth just so that, you know, every of our will and caprices can be met. We should be considerate as humans.
Listen, I hope that these doctors will not embark on another round of strike, of course, because I will consider it insensitive, lackadaisical, and self-centered. Because one, I know that doctors are trained to feel for another human being, not necessarily getting your emotions involved, but your sense and your conscience.
I agree with you, Adora. What do you make of the trend between the presidency and the National Assembly over bills passed by the Assembly, but which the president has refused to sign into law?
That story, I'll call it a story because it's yet to be proved, but as it's coming out in the papers last week in this, you know, the National Assembly said it passed the bill to the executive, and he hasn't signed it. Well, the president is saying, I have not received any bill, and up till now, I cannot sign anything well as I've not received it. But I just beg, Mr. President, I mean, if you've received the bill and you need more time, perhaps that will be in you. National Assembly and the executive, you're all just prepared to serve one government, and I believe that these guys, you people should work in collaboration. But let me ask you my own question, Tsunami, before I can answer that question, which I already did in a nutshell. Do the majority of the members of the National Assembly belong to the ruling People's Democratic Party, PDP?
I think, yeah. Yes.
Really?
I think so. Yes, they do. Majority of the National Assembly are members of the PDP party, the ruling party.
Okay, then my answer to your question is that PDP must examine itself. Definitely, it must examine itself to know why it is a party of strange bedfellows or people with the interests, of course, and same value and ideological convictions, because it baffles me.
It baffles me too, Adora. You know, usually things are made easy in government when the National Assembly, the executive, are all mostly members of the same party, because there's an ideology, there's a conviction that the party puts forward. And so when, you know, it's easier to run government because they all seem to be working around one ideology of an aim and objective, which they know that they are setting out to achieve. So having members, National Assembly full with PDP members, and then an executive also, you know, of course the president is a Kaakaki member of the PDP, and yet they're having this misunderstanding. The truth is that members of the same political party with, you know, with the same political agenda, with the same political agenda, with the same you shouldn't find things like this, you know, in happening. It's strange.
But that brings me back again to one Nigeria. You know, if we're talking about political parties and talking about the National Assembly, national is first the word. So I don't think it should be monopolized by one party. It should be, you know, a diversity of people come together to share the interests of Nigeria and, of course, do Nigeria's bidding. And I think that's where it comes from. But Tsunami, let me ask this question. I'm sure people are saying we're asking too many questions. The bills, of course, the bills not meant to help in providing, of course, relief to Nigerians, and of course make majority of Nigerians, you know, happy and put their interests first. Because I'm thinking if that is what it is meant for, then it should be of interest to the president to make it priority. You know, whether he has seen it or not, you know, call for it. I mean, be proactive to these bills. And I think, I don't know if you share my...
Yes, I agree with you, Adora. I must say that I still wonder, you know, why these bills are unsigned by the president. I'm still at a loss because I really do not understand. Maybe the president can explain to us better why, you know, he's not willing to sign these bills, you know, right now as we speak, because, well, to us out here it doesn't really make much sense. And then, I don't know, denying that there are no bills, well, I don't know. Mr. President may probably need to respond to some of these as soon as possible. But Adora, let's leave the PDP-dominated National Assembly and the executive, which is the PDP government, to their disagreement. What excites me for now is the inauguration this Friday of the first Nigerian warship built by the Nigerian Navy.
Warship?
Yeah,
wow.
Remember we were talking about it on this show.
Yeah.
Building a people's army, we called it, yes. Yeah. You know, knowing what the capabilities of our military is and putting it to great use. Like during the Civil War, we recall that you know, it was the military that built some bridges.
Definitely.
You know,
doctors, the ones
they have the best doctors, the best engineers, the best pilots. Yet the country barely uses them for any developmental, you know, agenda. So, well, they have built a warship. That is so exciting.
I'm laughing for joy too, and of course the national pride that comes from the accomplishment by just knowing that we have our own warship by the Navy. I mean, it's the first, and if you ask me, I'm sure other West African countries will be green with envy.
They should be. At least for the first time we can say, yeah, we're leading with something good.
Definitely.
Anyway, apart from the pride that comes with you know, with this feat, Adora, there is a deepening engineering knowledge that comes with the successful building of this warship. Just like I said, it shows just how brilliant our engineers are.
What are the economic implication of it? You know, when you look at it, the economic, the money, you know, that being spent to build it, and of course, like says that if Nigeria could build more of such ships, what would it cost the economy? What about shops? I wonder.
Adora, you know, you look at it in two ways. It's, for me, it's helping our economy grow in the sense that we're saving, you know, the economy from we're saving the government from spending on warships for the Nigerian Navy or for, you know, the other military groups. Then again, we're also tasking our engineers to be better than what, you know, we usually know them to be. It's a challenge. And if, yes, we're spending so much in building these warships, it's also because at the end of the day, we might just gain the experience that we need to make more warships and then sell.
Okay, you're right, because yes, I think another thing it will imply is that we will stop, importing some of those warships from other countries, you know, because they cost a lot of money importing, and then reduce the expenditure and spend it more on our own field and of course in our own country.
Yes, it's true. And also when such warships breaks down, you don't need to wait for anyone to come from any part of the world to come and fix it for you. You know, you know what the problem is. You fix it. You're the manufacturer. You know exactly what to do. But Sadora, how many happy chairs are we going to give the Navy for this feat?
I'll give 3 Busa.
Okay, so let's go now.
There you go.
Anyway, we're giving 3 big Busas to our naval officers. A mighty congratulations.
There's something else
guys.
Before you start to Busa the whole Nigeria and the rest of the world. There's something else that makes me happy. You know, the news about the Nigerian Communications Commission, NCC, insisting that the GSM providers, was in the news yesterday, those services who have not met the set standards of their subscribers pay that amount of money. And of course, that 1 trillion naira will go a long way to, you know, appease a lot of Nigerians, because we did ask for MTN to come here and give us the outside of the story, but of course
they turned us down.
Yes, it should be busy. So I think I'm happy for that.
I am also very happy that the inconvenience that Nigerians have faced, you know, based on the inefficiencies of these GSM providers has gone for far too long, has gone on for too long, and it's about time. So yeah, I'm happy. Kudos to NCC.
But if affected GSM companies, I wonder how they're taking it. No, not to mention names, of course. And I heard that they're also contemplating to go to court and, of course, argue about this 1 trillion naira.
It's up to them. They have the right to go to court, you know, so there's no problem as long as the NCC as a regulatory body is able to regulate their activities.
I think I'm just happy that they have gotten what they deserve, especially when you call and you don't make any calls and they charge you charges that are ridiculous. Well, you know, today is Friday and we have fantastic features on Kaakaki, your favorite breakfast show, and we're going to bring a cover story called PEP, People, Events and Places. I'm sure you like that one. And special features, headline news, and of course health tips by Adama. But first, you know how we start with the headline news. Please stay with us.
Of State and presidential candidate of Congress for Progressive Change, General Muhammadu Buhari, says he may contest the presidency in 2015. Speaking to journalists in Abuja on Thursday, Buhari said he has come under immense pressure from his political party and associates since he took the decision not to run again on the eve of the last election. He said he may succumb to this pressure to contest in 2015. Egypt's decades-long state of emergency came to an end on Thursday after its last renewal expired. The ruling military said in a statement vowing to continue to protect the nation. The statement said that the military will continue its national and historic responsibility, taking into account that the state of emergency has ended in accordance with the constitutional declaration and with the law. It said it will continue in that role until it hands over power, as it has promised to do, to an elected person by the end of June. The civilian trials of senior officials in Muammar Gaddafi's former government will begin in early June, with his former spy chief, Libya's prosecutor General Abdulaziz al-Hassadi, said on Thursday. The trials are being seen as a test of the new government's ability to try higher-profile Gaddafi loyalists and family members, including his son Saif al-Islam, who could yet be transferred to the International Criminal Court in The Hague. Daughter, who was arrested last September in Tripoli, will be the first senior Gaddafi official put on trial in Libya since the popular revolution after the former government last year. The U.S. Secretary of State Hillary Clinton says Russia's policy towards Syria will contribute to a potential civil war. Clinton's comments came after Russia and China renewed opposition to tougher UN Security Council action. UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon has repeated a warning that Syria could be moving towards catastrophic civil war in the wake of the Hawla massacre. The judge in the campaign finance trial of former U.S. presidential candidate John Edwards has declared a mistrial amid jury deadlock on most charges. The panel enounced him not guilty on one of his 6 charges of misuse of campaign funds, but could not agree on the other 5. It is not clear if prosecutors will retry Edwards or the other counts. Edwards, 58, denied using donor funds to hide his mistress's pregnancy during his 2008 run for the presidency. Blind Chinese human rights activist Chen Chuan-cheng has urged America to try harder to persuade his country's government to abide by its own laws. Speaking at its first public engagement since arriving in New York nearly 2 weeks ago, Chen described how officials have targeted his family in a frenzied way following his escape from house arrest in April. He told an audience at the Council of Foreign Relations that on one occasion, local officials beat his brother and family with pickaxe candles and imprisoned his nephew for attempting to defend himself. The Republic of Ireland has voted on whether to ratify the EU's fiscal pact, which sets strict limits for countries' budget deficit. Rejecting it would bar Ireland from emergency EU funding when its current bailout package expires in 2013. Ireland is the only EU state putting it to a national vote, but only 12 of the 17 Eurozone members need to ratify it. So, a no will not block the treaty. 6 explosions hit neighborhoods across Baghdad on Thursday, killing at least 17 people and wounding dozens more in the most deadly attacks on the Iraqi capital in more than a month. The attacks, a truck bomb in a market, a car bomb, and roadside explosives broke weeks of relative calm in Baghdad, just as Iraq's government shared among Shiite, Sunni, and Kurdish blocs wrangles over a crisis that risk reigniting sectarian tensions. Those were the headline news. Kaakaki will return in a moment. When we come back, we do have one of our special features from Uganda. Stay with us.
Explore Africa.
Encounter Africa.
Engage Africa.
Enjoy Africa's compelling,
exciting,
and breathtaking
experience
with Kaakaki,
the African voice.
We're still on to Kaakaki, the African voice this morning. Our special feature for this morning is taking you all the way to Uganda. Like I said, it is the first day of the month and also the Friday edition of your favorite breakfast program, Kaakaki, the African voice. Now, in our special feature today, we're going to Uganda, where the International Council of the Red Cross, ICRC, is helping refugees come back to their homes after the 1999 conflict between the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA, and the Uganda forces. The Red Cross is providing health care, money, and homes. War victims and slowly others affected Ugandans are coming back home. Let's take a look.
Awar madari ra cha beru tlaten yaro cha beru ti karma ya beru ti en wa beru do loengi chiru ti ana this time chiron karan da nyu ala ten no matik ma par de pati di ker no wa laten ada awar para twer wa pen me na belu do wa kite chambe no pen ya chana ber kanone.
The 1990s conflict was a bloody one between the Lord's Resistance Army, LRA, led by Joseph Kony, and Ugandan government forces. The conflict destroyed many villages and lifestyles, uprooted communities, and caused thousands to flee into neighboring states. Gulu Town, Apieta, Paladar, Awonondwe, and Omot villages, situated in northern Uganda, are now starting to finally emerge from the ashes of the 1990s Ugandan conflict, with its displaced populations returning steadily. The cessation of hostilities agreement of August 2006 put an end to the violence, and people have since been returning slowly to the houses they abandoned so hastily while fleeing for their lives. The International Committee of the Red Cross has been in Uganda since 1979 and has recently been engaged in helping the return of about 500,000 internally displaced persons.
It takes a long time to go back to the village. It takes a long time to reconstruct the house. It takes a long time to start to farm their fields, and this is an important challenge for them at the moment. Of course, they face lots of challenges as they go back, because they have many activities to taking place to rebuild their homes, but also to take care of their basic expenses that they need to meet.
Its operation is focused on providing rehabilitation to IDPs in order to facilitate their resettlement into their homes.
Mana kelo dak matiri e chiendong eno minor madit rueni kar me luen en pi pero mituo awubi ma mega bene ma chiel ruen wen kar me luen en kituo a chiel yo melum ku kwanya makwa wa kombiri komgi peke kino an pina pe yom kari bera duogi atika duogo nono pe tienyi dano modong icha atike lo tieno fa nyira ma nywalo.
The ICRC has implemented a cash for work program where it provides people with cash so they can operate their fields. It is also distributing seeds and farming tools.
What the International Committee of the Red Cross is doing to help in this difficult process, it is to enhance health structures on one hand, particularly to facilitate safe deliveries. Uganda has one of the highest birth rates worldwide. Another important project we are dealing with now is to provide people with cash in order for them to be able to open their fields. We provide them with tools and seeds
ana dan ma mu karo cha dan cha ko be na na ara ga ko ti o ma mu karo wen ga ti ko be ti o ma ni na an ba ro mi ara dire ti ana na jo me ki bi na ngi be ri ga ti o la ngi na la ga don ti ke ma na dan ti ko be ri ni me an ba be na
be ana po e pen mano kwa ma kun be ana ti ti pat ti kwa ma ana be ri ki wa ka cha bien ya mo ganga no kora kun be ti yata cha mo ni yata dong we cha ne ru di ko pa mar chai pa mar wa nyora enda mar di ni dong pa ti ka winu gi ma yele an man be pa yam ma kun be ana ti ka no ne yana du go dong ka ba ana no ye gin na ma yang ara gwa ene cha le yen ko me ti ka kwa nya an wa ki family wa ti an kwan wen ki ko kan ka ki karo ka
Thank you for staying with us. We have yet another special feature. This time we're going to Malawi. In our next stop, this time amidst the transportation problems of the Sunshine Country, the founder of a car company, Sakaramanta Peter Major, has invented what the company calls the care car. The care car is the care car, I beg your pardon. The care car is used to transport women in labor and other sick people. The care car is surely helping the sick, as a bicycle-like car ensures people in need of medical attention get to the health centers promptly. So let's take a trip to Malawi, maybe on the care car, to see how they use that. Let's get to Malawi.
Infrastructure and a lack of emergency rescue vehicles. People transport everything on their bikes, like bananas, goats, Coca-Cola bottles, and even charcoal. Transportation of sick people and pregnant women is often very difficult, so why not use the bicycle for this as well? Meet the care car. The care car is a cycle ambulance invented by Peter Major. He came up with the idea 5 years ago when he traveled through Malawi and saw that the people used their bikes for pretty much everything.
I thought, I'd like to start a business to set this up.
Financially, the care car is a success. Peter Major's company, Sakaramenta, now has 14 employees in the workshop and sells 60 cars each month to hospitals and NGOs.
There's a high maternal death in Malawi, and one of the reasons of that is that the women can't get to the hospital. The average distance from a village to a clinic is 15 kilometers, and now they have to walk.
Fortunately, the situation has now improved.
Nzima iyo ulendo nayo kuchipatala kuchileka kuti akachire. Nzima iyo panopa adachira bwino komanso ali ndi mwana ndiso aliso ndi thanzi.
Back to where it all started, Major decided to open a workshop in Blantyre in the capital Lilongwe, the biggest town in Malawi. There he started the business Sacramento. In the workshop, they produced the Matsu car, which is for water, the Tenga car, which is for all kinds of chores, the shop car, which is a stand on wheels, and finally, the care car, which is a strong revised bicycle.
The most important part of the bicycle ambulance are the wheels. They break very fast, so we import special wheels, which are much stronger.
Major made a survey among the women in the neighborhood about how the shape of the care car should be. They stated that they wanted to sit straight when they are moved.
People feel they are dead, they lie flat. That's why they prefer 45 degrees angle, so they can sit, and they can also see the horizon, so you don't get sick.
Inde ndikuandika kandizagira mu ntaya bwino chifukwa ndizabira mu ntaya bwino kuchipatala moyenelera ndipo sinzagira mu ntaya so yenelera.
Your care car.
My care car, let me see. How comfortable? I don't know.
You better before you road to the hospital.
No, but that's a very good. It's a very good initiative.
Very innovative.
Very innovative.
Very creative. You would never think that somebody would think of that, and producing and building locally as well.
Yes, that's empowering people while doing that. You know, when I heard the care car, I thought it was a kind of ambulance I was expecting. I didn't know he was still on a tricycle, but it gets to the villages, it gets to the places where vehicles cannot get to. And like that pregnant woman said, she doesn't worry anymore that when the day she falls into labor, she's sure the care car will be available.
But you know, you will start to hear that there was a woman who actually lost a baby and lost a lot of blood in the process. And I think you know the idea by Sacramento, what a name, was ingenious. I think it was fantastic.
Yeah, genius.
Well,
I agree.
Maybe we should have a care car in Nigeria. Well, we wouldn't have made your Friday without a little entertainment, would we? So we're going to talk about e-tips this morning and take you to the world of entertainment. Stay tuned.
Hello, it's E-Tips again, and we start off with Sarah's word that Nigerian rapper Panchak Zamani, popularly known as Ice Prince, has finally admitted to being a father. The Chocolate City rapper disclosed this while speaking to Vanessa Opiong of Nigerian newspaper Weekly Trust Weekend magazine in an interview published over the weekend. When asked what the experience was like about being a new dad and how it was fitting that into his schedule, he responded, "Yes, I am. I have a strong team around me and we are able to schedule our events properly. This gives me time to take care of all the things I need to take care of." On March 1, 2012, 20-year-old former UGB North American University undergraduate Bimbo Babatunde delivered a baby boy since named Toluwalashe for Ice Prince. The rapper had before now repeatedly denied he is the father of Bimbo's child, but the baby was born on March 1, 2012. Rapper and songwriter Eva has been confirmed by LD the Don, the CEO of Tribe Records, as a new signing for the company. LD took his Twitter account early on Wednesday, May 30th, 2012, to announce this new edition, saying, "Good morning, you all. Join me as I welcome Eva Lodaya, the newest member of Tribe Records." With her new track, I Don't Did It, and High Video, Eva is definitely enjoying her time, pulling crowds across the state, especially at the recently held King of Comedy show. To confirm the story, Eva, who is currently pushing her new video, Hi, took to her Twitter line saying, "Wow, I had to go through 13 record deals to finally get here." Did I say?
yes to the 14th? Yes, I'm happy. Oh yes, she is yet to respond to calls at the time of writing. Just 2 months ago, Nigerian Entertainment Today had named Eva one of the top 12 upcoming rappers to watch. It's coming almost a year late, but Terry G has finally vindicated a whole lot of people by confirming the identity of his better half. The word hitmaker has not only identified his longtime partner as Mimi, the same lady that was reported he was involved with and engaged to last year. He has also informed us that they are expecting their first baby and he's happy about it. That's good news. A few days ago, the news about Mimi surfaced on blogs, with many reporting that Terry G's fiancée was 6 months pregnant. It's true, the Akpako master simply replied when asked. On September 5, 2011, the lovebirds traveled to Benin with few friends and family members for a traditional marriage ceremony that caught Terry G's friends by surprise. And when asked if the couple already knew the child's sex, Terry G said, "We don't know yet, but I pray to God for a boy." The TGP Entertainment boss has been releasing a series of singles as he gears up to drop his anticipated Lucifer mixtape. Newly-wedded couple, Nollywood actress Funke Akindele and Kenny Almaroof Oloyede have traveled to London to spend their honeymoon after tying the knots last Saturday, May 26, 2012. The couple left Nigeria for the UK on Tuesday, May 30th, 2012. While in the UK, Akindele will also make an appearance at the upcoming Wizkid concert at the HMW Apollo Theatre on Monday, June 4, 2012. See ya, Kashia dear. Akindele replied when a fan tweeted about expecting to see her at the HMV Apollo. That sums up It Is Today. Catch us next week. See ya. Mwah.
Adwa, you have a story. You were telling me. Okay, first, congratulations to Funke Akindele. You deserve it.
Jennifer Coin, I Coin.
Indeed, Funke has come a long way, and we wish you all of the best.
Wow.
Well, you were telling me something about.
Yeah, I think that romance was quite a coincidence, because I was telling you how it happened. That the guy was such a great fan of hers, and somebody impersonated her, so a colleague, a friend, and was using her voice, make believe and talking to the guy. And the guy fell in love with the person on the phone and decided to meet up with her. And then the friend said, "Oh God, I am not Funke Akindele. Okay, let me tell her." So she begged Funke. I was like, "This is what's happened. This is what I've done so far." Funke refused, and until she agreed, met up with the guy. She was forming for me. And after a while, after all the toasting, the romance, the lunch, the dinner, she finally agreed to go out with him. And then, voila, you have a marriage in the season.
Wow,
and plus, he's bags of money. Bags of money.
I don't know about that.
That could be an incentive.
Oh wow, that's a romantic story.
Very romantic.
Don't you think?
Please impersonate me.
Yeah, you wish. I can't, even if I tried.
All right. Of course, you know that we're talking about bags of money. We need to be healthy before we spend it. But I don't know what you think about Facebook love. Because that brings me back to internet loving, and I'm wondering. Because of the story that there was a couple who met up on Facebook and accidentally were found dead in a car. It was one of our major news headline stories on the newspaper. But I think we won't get into all of that.
Yeah, before we talk about that story,
Adama
is ready to bring us health tips.
Hey, I'm more ready to go and party over the weekend than to bring you health tips. You ladies look really, really beautiful, I must say. Adora, that's a lovely dress. Lots of frills.
Thank you very much, Adama.
On your chest. It looks really, really nice. Looks like you have a bit of load on your chest. Do you have any
No one song? You
Okay, let me not tempt Adora into giving me a black eye. Let me go ahead and talk to you. I think you have no risk of giving me a black eye from where you are. Well, good morning. I hope you had a good night rest, and I hope you have good plans for your weekend. And one of the things you should not have over the weekend, or one of the plans you should not be making over the weekend, would be smoking. Because remember I told you I was going to pick on 2 addictions, and I disappointed you by knocking off one of the addictions you wanted. I have done alcohol, and today we're looking at smoking addiction. Are you a smoker? Yeah, probably say, oh, yes, I am. And do you want to quit? Oh, yes, I want to quit. They always all say that. Well, you are not alone. Everybody say they want to quit. Each year, more and more people choose to quit smoking cigarettes. And then within hours of stopping cigarettes, your body will start to recover from the effects of nicotine and additives. You know, there's so many additives in your cigarette apart from nicotine. Now, your blood pressure, your heart rate, and your body temperature, all of which are elevated because of the nicotine in cigarettes, will return to healthier levels, and your lung capacity increases, and the bronchial tubes will relax, making breathing easier. Now, poisonous carbon monoxide in your blood decreases, allowing the blood to carry more oxygen. Now, for many reasons, quitting smoking is one of the best things you can do for yourself, for your short-term and your long-term health. So it's absolutely the best birthday gift, the best New Year gift, the best anything that you can give to yourself. Now, the challenge of quitting smoking, it's a challenge. It's really, really a challenge to quit smoking. And then how much difficulty you will have depends on several factors. And this includes the number of cigarettes you smoke daily, the number of people you spend time with who smoke, like parents, friends, and co-workers and all that. The reasons you smoke, some people smoke because they say it's weight control, some people smoke for social situations, and some people smoke out of peer pressure. Now, the addictiveness of smoking is blamed on nicotine, because nicotine is the main drug in tobacco for your smoking addiction. That's the thing that makes you addicted. Now, what happens is that your brain quickly adapts to nicotine and develops a tolerance for it, meaning you need to smoke more to get the same rush that you used to get with just one cigarette. Now, did you know that nicotine acts on some of the same brain pathways as cocaine? So don't say, oh, I just smoke cigarettes, I'm not a cocaine addict. You just might be a cocaine addict. Now, tolerance happens when your brain tries to keep itself balanced, because you know the body is such a beautiful machine. When something is going on in one part, it will just come up with some kind of a contingency plan to try and put things back in sync and keep itself in balance. Now, chemicals from the cigarette make the brain release chemicals called norepinephrine and dopamine. Now, if the brain releases too much of these 2 chemicals, the brain chemistry gets unbalanced and releases its own anti-nicotine chemicals when you smoke. Now, these anti-nicotine chemicals would make you feel down, it will make you feel depressed and tired if you are not smoking. Now, over time, the brain learns to predict when you are going to smoke a cigarette, and then it releases the anti-nicotine chemicals, and these chemicals make you feel depressed and tired. So you think, oh, I need a cigarette. And a trigger is anything your brain has connected with smoking, because your brain is a whole lot smarter than you. Yeah, it is. Now, everyone's triggers are different. Yours might include the smell of cigarette smoke, or having an ashtray next to you, or seeing a carton of cigarettes at a store or anywhere, or having certain food or drink. Some people like smoking when they're drinking alcohol. Ending a good meal, some people like to use smoking to digest food. I don't know where and how digesting food makes you to smoke. What is that going to do? Now, drinking alone or drinking with someone whom you normally smoke cigarettes with could also be a trigger for you. Sometimes just the way you feel, sad or happy, is a trigger. Now, one of the biggest keys to quitting smoking is to understand the triggers that make you quit smoking. How much do you want to quit smoking? There are different ways to quit smoking. Some work better than others. The best strategy is to choose a method that will challenge you to quit, but also one that you can achieve. Don't be overly ambitious. Now, here are some suggestions for ways that you can stop smoking. There's I can do it myself style, which is doing it without outside help. About 90% of people who try to quit smoking do it without outside help. No aids, no therapy or medicine. And although many people try to quit this way, it is not the most effective and successful method. Only about 10% of people who try to quit this way succeed on their first try. Now, there's behavioral therapy. With behavioral therapy, you visit a therapist who will help you to find the most effective way to quit. The therapist will help you to identify your triggers, come up with ways to get through cravings, and provide emotional support when you need it most. And then, of course, there's nicotine replacement therapy. Nicotine gum, patches, inhalers, sprays, and lozenges are nicotine replacement therapies, also called NRT. Now, replacement therapy works by giving you nicotine without using tobacco. You may be more likely to quit smoking if you use nicotine replacement therapy, but if you are under 18 years of age, you're not an adult, remember, so you need to get your doctor's permission to use nicotine replacement therapy. And this therapy works best when combined with behavioral therapy and lots of support from friends and family. Then, of course, there's medicine. Some drugs, which I will not bother to mention here, are formulated to help people quit smoking. Now, your doctor must prescribe these medications, and that is why I am not telling you, because you have to get a doctor's prescription. Now, combination treatments, using a combination of treatment methods can increase your chances of quitting. For example, using both nicotine patch and gum may be better than using the patch alone. There are other proven combination treatments which include behavioral therapy and nicotine replacement therapy as well. Prescription medication with a nicotine patch and nicotine spray can also help you to quit smoking. So much about smoking. Please, 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 stop smoking, stop smoking. I will pay you a bribe. I won't say how much if you quit smoking and you confirm to me that you quit smoking. If you believe that, you will believe that I'm the Queen of England. Okay, let me gravitate away from bribing people and incentivizing people and, yeah, whatever that means. Let's go to the meal of the day. It will pop up on your screen, not behind me this time around. Meal of the day says, please, Adama, I need your help. Okay. I have rashes on my whole body. What do I do? Thanks, Modupe. Well, Modupe, it's either you are reacting to something or it's a form of a skin disease or a symptom of some disease. What I will advise you to do is to visit a hospital and see a dermatologist so that you will properly be examined and be treated for whatever is going on your skin. And I'm sure you're a very beautiful girl or woman, Modupe, and you don't want to have rashes all over your skin. So good luck with it, and do keep me posted. And on that note, I end the smoking. I hope in your weekend binging, drink binging, or whatever it is that you do over the weekend, you plan to toss out the cigarettes. Toss out the cigarettes. You know I love you. I love you. You're close to my heart, so toss out the cigarettes. None of you ladies smoke, I suppose?
Nah.
Okay. None of you camera crew smoke, I suppose? Okay, they're not answering. Some of them still smoke.
Adama, do you smoke?
No.
Have you ever tried smoking?
No, never did.
Any other smoking relationship with a smoking?
Anything
smoking around
smoking
you?
Like that. I have my own different things. That is well. I'm not going to reveal them on TV. Sorry to disappoint you, Adora. You're always trying to know the bad stuff that I do, but I keep them secret. I keep them close to my heart.
Adama, you're always looking to bribe someone. You'll soon be probed, though.
EFCC, come and take me. Yeah, always bribe it. Unfortunately, I don't see the resources to steal to make the bribe. You know, you have to steal some and make the bribe.
Before you can make the bribe.
Yeah, I'm not making the theft, and then I'm only making the bribe. So those who believe that I can bribe them, well, they're welcome to try and see.
Thank you, Adama.
You're welcome. It's a Friday, so we hope that you have a splendid week.
So you're going to go party then?
None of your business.
Okay.
I don't want to take you along.
And Adama, I'll sure not to come on Monday morning and tell us that your weekend was short.
Okay.
You'll find time to rest.
That's
okay?
my signature reply.
Yes, that was the weekend. You always say short. Okay. So make sure you don't have a short weekend.
This weekend is going to be short as well. It's already going to be short. I have field work on Friday. I have something going on Sunday. It's going to be short. I know that already.
Okay, but just cut some time to rest so you can come back refreshed on Monday morning.
Yeah, sure. We'll do. All right. And you take a break from your kids, too.
Yeah, and the one in your bed.
I kick out the one in your bed.
Yeah, that's what I just said to her. Make sure she doesn't let them in your bed.
Okay, I will. I'll try. I'll put them somewhere and then go somewhere else to rest.
Fantastic. I'll come along.
All right, thank you, gentlemen. See you Monday.
Bye. Wow.
Smoking. Well, that's one habit that I've always wondered when I see people smoking. I don't know how it feels. I don't even want to try. So don't tell me try it first. And, I don't even want to try. But I'm not okay with inhaling smoke and putting fire near my mouth. And it's not attractive.
Okay, sorry.
What are you saying?
I'm just wondering, we say smoking. When we're quite younger, when you watch movies, and you do an imitation of what you see.
Oh, yeah, you roll up papers.
Wait, now, let me call. And, in school, we did a lot of dramas. And then if you were set to be bad in the drama, if you're set to be a bad girl or a bad boy, they'll always roll up a paper and give you, and then you'd be acting with a cigarette and be like, and that,
you'd be feeling cool.
Be feeling cool, not knowing it's a bad habit. Now, I've grown older, and then sometimes I ask if when people say smoking in movies, depict, immorality or a careless habit. Now you want to draw the line, what it is. Is it a bad habit or is it immoral? Some people say, oh, smoking is bad. That girl is smoking. She's a bad girl. And some say, oh, that girl is smoking.
I've come to realize I used to feel that way as well. It is a bad habit. I'd like to leave it at that. I believe it's a bad habit because it's bad for your health. It's bad for everyone around you. It just gives you this look like, especially when you're a chain smoker, you cannot control yourself. Every minute you're stepping out to take a smoke. Every minute you take
the relief.
And so sometimes people look at you like, excuse me, you should be able to put your addiction under control or whatever it is. So it doesn't really put you in good light when you are a chain smoker. But it doesn't necessarily mean that the person is a bad habit, is a bad person. It's just unfortunately make the person grow a bad habit.
The most remarkable memory I have about smoking is I grew up with my dad smoking. He was really a chronic smoker, and he didn't just smoke cigarettes, he smoked cigar. And my mom used to tell him, stop smoking, you will die, you will not leave me here, you will die, you will not leave me here. So we've been trying to talk my dad out of smoking. So one day my mom just had it. And my dad came in, and my mom was sitting down with her own cigar, lit up like this. And my dad said, what is happening? I said, if you will smoke, I will smoke. So until you decide to stop smoking, then, and that is how, I don't know if my dad ever did it outside, but that's how my dad quit smoking. And
wow,
he never
fantastic.
So I think it's,
and
family can help.
Talking about smoking, yesterday was the World Smoking Day.
Yes,
the world celebrated, not celebrated smoking.
Okay, good.
It's the day where people are, encouraged to quit smoking. Of course, we don't want to go on and on about what it does to your health, your lungs, people. Yeah, how bad it is, how people who smoke, are more likely to develop lung cancer, a lot of
skin diseases as well.
Skin diseases, and all of that, and have your lungs grow dark and black. And have your inside really dark. Yeah, and unfortunately, you can't open it up to wash it and put it back in. So, the best thing you can do is make sure that you don't keep sniffing toxic.
Don't stay around the environment where people are smoking, because that also is harmful to the health, and you could also endanger your own life. And what happens is that the tobacco, comes out, processed, and the nicotine you inhale to rest on the surface of your lungs, and before you know it, you get lung cancer. You're wondering, how did I get lung cancer? I do not smoke, but you leave with a smoke.
And then again, when you decide to smoke, doesn't mean I have decided to smoke. So I don't want to smoke. You're smoking besides me is that you're forcing me to smoke even when I don't want to. So be a little considerate. If you've chosen to kill yourself, well, it's up to you. Don't kill others along with you. Just be considerate with people on the street when you're standing with people. Just walk away from people. Don't smoke around them. Keep them safe.
I think you're even encouraging. I think the government should.
If they want to, it's a choice.
See, I believe in, if you're talking about environment and health, I think there's time the government, proposes a bill for a smoke-free environment. Smoke in your own home.
Yeah, they were promoting something like that.
A smoke-free environment, not just because of you, but because of children, because of fresh air, and because of health. And I think that if we do that, I think the first step, like Adama said, is making a pack of cigarettes 5,000 naira. So that before you buy buy one, you would think of the cost implications.
Especially when that 5,000 naira is enough to put food on your table for a week.
True.
So you want to choose a pack of cigarettes over food for 1 week for your family.
Yeah.
You choose when you decide what's best. And I really agree. 5,000 naira for a pack of cigarettes. Trust me, a lot of people will quit.
Smoke-free environment. And
Smoke-free
one other
environment.
notion is that I know people who smoke and say it helps me lose weight, or smoking helps me lose weight.
Does it
helps
really?
me dampen my hunger. I do not know, but it's just fallacy and just fabrication. I think that first of all, you're doing yourself a whole lot of bad by being disillusioned. So drop it. And then we're just going to leave it at that, because
yeah, we're going to leave it at that. Stop smoking.
Yeah. Do you smoke, Fernando?
I don't, never have, never will, never tried, won't bother. It doesn't interest me, like I said before.
Okay, well, stay tuned. We'll come back and it will be time for Inside Nigeria. Stay with us.
Explore Africa.
Encounter Africa.
Engage Africa.
Enjoy Africa's compelling,
exciting,
and breathtaking
experience
with Kaakaki,
the African voice.
What has been failing before was that Nigerians became so docile. They didn't ask questions. They don't show interest on issues that are really burning their fingers and even affecting them, on the cancer that is eating the nation.
We have a government that is accomplishing so little because it is attempting to do so much.
It is absolutely important that the state of our criminal justice system is made an agenda item.
If you look at Section 285 of the Constitution, it says you must file your petition within 21 days from the date of the result of the election was announced.
Stay with us. Time now for Inside Nigeria. Former Nigeria military head of state Muhammadu Buhari and former President Olusegun Obasanjo want the nation's youth to imbibe the spirit of sound character and integrity in every aspect of their lives, as the nation's future depends on them. The former leaders made the appeal while extolling the virtues of Professor Emeritus Umaru Shehu at the launch of his biography, A Life of Sacrifice, in Abuja on Thursday.
And value matter in our lives. And the character that Professor Umaru Shehu has imbibed and has seen him through life is worthy of emulation.
I was amazed by the way the professor worked. For the first time I met him, and his total commitment to service, hard work, and passionate integrity. I mean,
the planning comes from high up. Our Creator decides what you will be, what you're going to be, what you will never be, and things like that. But once you're in a position, there are certain elements of success which you would not certain with a critical certainty, but certainly with a hope that it will materialize.
federal government is to collaborate with the southwestern states of the country towards improving the deplorable condition of roads in the region. Governor of Ekiti State, Kaakaki B, who spoke on behalf of his colleagues, said President Jonathan has acknowledged the pitiable condition of the roads in the southwest and has agreed to partner the governors for the benefit of the people.
Citizens of Nigeria, they don't make a distinction between federal roads and state roads. They just want roads that are motorable, that are decent, that would enable them have secure and safe travel in the course of their journey back and forth. And when you have a situation in which these roads are in a deplorable state, you are bound to have a huge well of disaffection by the people.
It gladdens our hearts that Mr. President identifies with us. It's not just me alone. Yes, even though most of the road, yes, lies within Ogun State. But of course, everybody will agree that there's no Nigerian, more or less, no state that doesn't use that road.
Reacting to the circumstances that led to the closure of the University of Lagos, Fayemi said there was a disconnection among the students and history, as most of them were too young to realize the role Moshood Abiola played in the democratic development of Nigeria.
Well, by acknowledging the role that Chief M.K. Abiola played in securing us this democracy that we're all enjoying. And as an activist of that era myself, I could not stress enough the importance of the role that Chief Abiola played. But clearly, this is an issue that ought to have also been comprehensively discussed by all the stakeholders.
Also present at the presidential villa for the consultation were Olusegun Mimiko of Ondo, Rauf Aregbesola of Osun, Ibikunle Amosun of Ogun, and Isiaka Ajumobi of Oyo State. The Nigerian Senate Joint Committee on the Management of Petroleum Subsidy has continued with interrogation of critical stakeholders in the nation's oil sector. At the resumed hearing on Thursday, KPMG, that audited the importation of products and disbursement of the subsidy fund, insisted on the credibility of its report, in which it accused NNPC management and the Petroleum Products Pricing Regulatory Agency of mismanaging the subsidy scheme.
NNPC as well. Based on the sample that we looked at, we didn't look at everything because we could not within the limited time that we had. Based on the sample that we looked at, we did find evidence that suggests, based on the documents that we reviewed, that subsidy was actually paid on the basis of documentation that we could not verify. So yes, there were malpractices, and in our report we have set out within the sample that we looked at the companies that were involved.
NPC, however, denied being contacted by KPMG in the course of the auditing.
NNPC is not aware of this report. NNPC was not questioned or queried by KPMG on this report, and we have not cited this report. So some of those observations were never discussed with us because nobody asked us any question. So we are hearing of this report for the first time here and today.
He has adjourned its sitting to Tuesday, July 5, 2012. Nigeria's House of Representatives is to investigate a case of alleged round-tripping in the sale of an oil block involving Shell Petroleum, Ajib Oil, and Malibu Oil. The House is also to conduct a public hearing aimed at making Nigerians contribute ideas that will help to realize the objectives of the Sovereign Investment Fund.
The circumstances surrounding the purported transfer of $1.3 billion United States dollars through the federal government account and then subsequently transfer to Malibu Oil and Gas, and then the nature with which this money was disbursed, Mr. Speaker, honorable colleagues, is questionable.
So Berry Investment Fund is aimed at building a saving base for Nigerian citizens, enhancing the development of Nigerian infrastructure, and providing stabilization support for the nation in terms of economic stress.
Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Paris Ayade, has attributed the current defense in the Nigerian police, decadence in the Nigerian police, to the long years of military rule, which starved the police of funding and relevant training for over 3 decades. Ayade was speaking at the SOD breaking ceremony of the new corporate headquarters in the Police Service Commission in Abuja on Thursday. The Police Service Commission boss, however, said that efforts are on to reposition the police to make it more responsive to national security challenges. Mohammed Abubakar, the new 5-story Police Service Commission office, which is to gulp 3.4 billion naira, will be completed in December this year. That's Inside Nigeria. Kaakaki continues in a moment. When we come back, we will take you straight into our interview segment. Do stay with us.
Now, hey.
The end of the legal year, the beginning of the legal year, there is period also for sober reflection.
We have signed into law several legislations whose implementation will help us provide the service delivery that you expect of us and raise the standard of life.
The Bisi Olakilo Show, BOS International.
I'll give you all the finest things in life. You are the angel of my life, the love of my life. I love my baby, that's my baby, I'll treat my baby right.
Viewers all over the world have made the Bisi Olakilo Show, BOS International, the first choice on their TV dials every week. The Bisi Olakilo Show, BOS International. Time out with TA.
Nutritious but self-a-banky W.
It's also a party.
Look, see, I know they get no longer, so I want friendship way longer. With me today, tomorrow I'll be stronger.
Time out with TA. It's the variety comedy show everyone is talking about. Catch your favorite celebrities on Wine with TA. It's refreshing.
morning to you. This is Kaakaki B, African Voice, and today is Friday. We're still talking about, of course, how far so far this administration of President Goodluck Jonathan, but we're focusing on the transportation sector. And of course, we know that this year has seen a lot of good and of course a lot of bad. But let's concentrate first on what we have on the interview segment this morning. Movement of goods and persons is central to the success of any economy.
Indeed it is. In addition, social relations at the larger national level also depends on transportation.
And that's because contact between groups and individuals in the discovery of new opportunities in faraway locations depend on transportation.
As Nigeria's economy grows, goods produced in one part of the country can only be made available through efficient transport system to another.
Very well. Now, in the past decades or more, Nigeria's transport sector has experienced bad times. The road system has been bedeviled by very bad roads.
The rail system has not fared better as rail tracks across the country have remained unmaintained over time, with many sections of the rail lines becoming unserviceable.
To say that again, the state of Nigerian transport system has affected the economy in a very negative way. But how has the present government responded to the situation in the last 12 months? Well, this morning we have the Honorable Minister of Transport, Senator Idris A. Umar, and he's joining us in the studio, and he is very much present. Good morning, sir. You're welcome to Kaakaki.
Good morning. Thank you very much.
And we also have Engineer Omar Suleiman, MD, Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority. You're welcome, sir.
Good morning.
You're welcome.
Honorable Minister, let's start with you.
Yeah.
Sir, the last, you heard our intros. An efficient transport system in any country cannot be overemphasized. There is definitely a need, because when goods are produced, you move them from one place to another, people will travel. But most of the time, the roads in Nigeria are the most used. And I'm sure that when you came in, you met a transport system that many still believe is quite inefficient even as we speak. Let's highlight some of the things that you have done in the last 12 months to change this situation.
Thank you very much for that question. As we have rightly captured, the transport sector is a very, very important sector to the economy. As a matter of fact, the efficiency of the other subsectors of the economy to a large extent depend on how efficient our transport system is. And I would like to confirm to you that over the last 1 year, under the transformation agenda of the President, particularly the transport subcomponent of that, of the infrastructure component of the agenda, a lot has been achieved, particularly in the area of the President's drive to resuscitate, as it were, and to revitalize the Nigerian railway system. As you are rightly aware, for decades, the railway has been comatose. And therefore, Mr. President is so much determined, is very passionate about the resuscitation of the railway system. A number of rehabilitations have been going on in the railway system, because we have a twin approach to the rehabilitation and the resuscitation of the Nigerian railway system. Firstly, government is determined to rehabilitate the existing narrow gauge rail lines, which is about 3,505 kilometers all in all. Over 90% of that is being rehabilitated at the moment, and all these are at various stages of completion. The Western Corridor in particular, Lagos to Kano, which springs from Lagos to Ibadan, Ilorin, Mina, Kaduna up to Kano, is almost completed. We hope that by the end of next month, June, precise, today is 1st June?
Yes, that's true.
Okay, we hope that by the end of this month, latest by the second week of July, we hope that the entirety of that rehabilitation will be over. And in fact, the trains will be plying from Lagos to Kano, carrying goods and passengers. Equally important to mention is the rehabilitation of the Eastern Corridor, that is from Port Harcourt going through the east to Makadi to Lafia in Nasarawa State, Kuru in Jos, of course, with a branch to Kafanchan up to Kaduna, and of course, which springs to Bauchi, Gombe up to Maiduguri. It's being rehabilitated. So we do hope that by the end of next year, that line will equally be completely rehabilitated, and therefore Out of the 3,505 kilometers of the existing narrow gauge, perhaps there are only 2 corridors that are not being rehabilitated under the ongoing exercise. But of course, we intend to award the contract for these 2 lines next year. That is Baro to Mina, and then of course Kano to Nguru.
Honourable Minister, there was also said that in the offering was the route to Abuja and Kaduna. As about 20
that is the second aspect that I'm coming to explain. Okay. That is under the modernization program, the Kaduna Abuja rail line, which is the standard gauge, which is a new line, which is a modern line, just to match up like other countries in the world. Nigeria will gradually transit from the existing narrow gauge to the standard gauge. And of course that has to be done gradually because it is capital intensive. So at the moment Abuja Kaduna is on stream. The construction is on. And of course the central corridor from Itape, Ajakuta to Wari is equally in progress. It is also part of the modernization program. Before the end of this year we intend to award the contract for the Lagos Ibadan, which is a double track. Which is going to cost about $1.5 billion. That's why I say it's capital intensive. So along the line, we intend to carry out a number of feasibility studies this year. Lagos, Abuja, high speed. We intend that as soon as that is done, by the end of this year, we'll engage the private sector because already we are getting a lot of offers from interested investors, both from within and outside the country, who have shown interest in coming to invest in the development of the Nigerian railway. So we have a number of corridors that we intend to carry out feasibility studies. Lagos, Abuja, high speed, like I said. The east-west corridor, which starts from Lagos to Benin, Benin to Agbo, Agbo to Asaba, Asabo, Onitsha, to Oweri, up to Aba, with a spur from Onitsha to Niue. That is the east-west corridor. And then we have the coastal line, which is going to start from Benin to Sapele, Wari, Yenogo, Port Harcourt to Oyo up to Calabar. And so the feasibility study will be carried out this year. And the intention is to partner with the private sector for the development of the rail track and of course the operation. But of course before the end of the year equally too, we are working on the bill seeking to repeal and reenact the Railway Act, because the operational law now is the Nigerian Railway Act of 1955. Of course, which has long overlived its relevance, because that law vests exclusive right of ownership and operation of the Nigerian Railway into Nigerian Railway Corporation. And therefore, for you to bring in the private sector and even the state governments to construct rail lines and to operate, then you need to amend that law. So we are going to seek to repeal the law and then reenact another one.
Okay, still on that, excuse me, beg your pardon, very well, you've talked about the tracks and, modernization and remodeling. We look at wagons, the already existing railway services that we have, and some say some of the wagons are outdated and date back as 1948, 1993. What about the wagons? Is there any room for changes?
Now, you see, right now we have acquired about 25 new locomotives. These locomotives are for the standard gauge, the existing rail lines, and we have quite a number of coaches and wagons which have been there and which have been rehabilitated, which we continue to use for the meantime. Like I said, at the end of the exercise, the private sector is going to be engaged to procure the rolling stock. The rolling stock means the locomotives, the coaches and the wagons. So the private sector will be allowed to purchase and then to operate on these lines. You see, time has come for us to ease the burden on government on financing everything. The private sector have shown a lot of interest in the operation of this, and therefore we should give them the chance to come and procure coaches and wagons, and to partner with government, in the operational aspect of the railway.
All right, Engineer Omar Suleiman, I'm going to come to you now. As an engineer, I know that, I don't know if you're aware, but Abuja right now, the FCT is undertaking the Latchstream project, and I know that it's about 27% completion. Could you explain to us the difference between this Latchstream project and the railways that we have and we're trying to rehabilitate right now? Because many have said that this is light rail is electronic, and it may be difficult for it to function in Nigeria. Do you agree, and how do you think that it's going to work here with our peculiar electricity challenge?
Yeah, good morning. On that aspect, I think it's going to work, because what Nigeria is doing in terms of power sector, we have seen that there's a lot of improvement. And all we needed to do is to get a dedicated source of power for the rail system that was in the town, the monorail. And with that, definitely it will run. You can take example what's happening in Calabar, the Tinapa project that they also provided very high level of power there, which now Calabar is using from 6 p.m. in the evening to 6 a.m. to power the street lights all over. And I think for many, since it started, there have not been any failure. And I think with that, definitely it will work. We only need to dedicate a power source for that particular light rail, and it will work.
Okay, Honorable.
Sorry, just to chip in, although the light rail, the Abuja railway is not under the Ministry of Transport, it is under the FCT. However, I do know that I think part of the component of that project is to ensure that there is a power component in that project, and therefore there is no much fear about its success or otherwise. In any case, like you rightly said, the federal government, Mr. President, is really pushing hard to ensure that power is really stabilized, is brought to Nigeria, and I'm sure that we are going to succeed.
Yes. Honorable Minister, let's look at the roads, in Nigeria. While you're developing the railway, of course, that's a good thing because, of course, it means that the roads will be less busier and, there'll be less pressure on the roads. But in the meantime, almost all of, a lot of roads in the Federation is suffering. Intercity and even intercity roads are begging for attention. What has your ministry done in the last 12 months to address some of these major, of course, the Benin or a road that, you can't talk about federal roads in Nigeria and not just talk about that particular road.
Abuja-Lokoja road.
Abuja, exactly. Yeah. Abuja-Lokoja road is another name.
Well, maybe let me just talk in general terms. See, like I said, some of this, we have shared responsibilities, and issues bordering on roads are matters under the jurisdiction of the Federal Ministry of Works. Yeah. However, we are interrelated in the sense that we are all dealing of transport system, and of course that it is a realization of the enormity of the pressure that has been brought to bear on our roads, that the federal government is determined to ensure the resuscitation of the Nigerian railway along the line to equally revitalize and revamp our inland waterways transportation system so as to ease the rigors, the pressure on the road. Of course, quite a number of projects are going on: road rehabilitation, new reconstructions of the roads, and of course in all parts of the country. Too numerous to mention. Of course, we appreciate the fact that although government is making a lot of effort, the pressure is very high on the roads, and therefore we just have to develop our rail system. Otherwise, these problems will continue.
Okay, I'll go over to you, Engineer Omar. You're the Managing Director of Nigerian Ports Authority. Let's talk about the inland waterways. Let's talk about the sea. Recently, I think some months back, or I think a year ago, the confluence in Kogi State was merged with the River Niger, and it's still been in the offing that, it's supposed to ease transportation and cargoes and, shipping people back and forth. What does it mean to Nigerian economy, and how can it be investor friendly?
Thank you very much. The inland port, which actually is not within my jurisdiction, it's with the inland waterways, but the comment I have is in the Judge Nigerian Port Authority, in that the cargo that's supposed to serve those areas are cargo that's supposed to be landed in the ports, and because of trying to make it easier for people to carry the cargo to certain areas, also to disengage the port, to congest the port so that we have better throughput. So we will be able to transfer the cargo from the port fast as immediately to land to inland ports so that they can now be cleared there. And that will free the port and make the port more efficient. And in terms of maybe viability, yes, it's fine, because that's what the Nigeria needs. If you go to places like Antwerp, you find that there's so many canals that once a vessel lands, you find so many barges that will now carry the containers out and the cargoes out of the port so that another vessel can back. It's going to be good.
Well, do you think that a lot is being done at the moment in regards to that?
Yes, a lot is being done, because I'm sure all the lower Niger have been dredged already and made the street to level that it can start performing, especially the ones in I think in Onisha can start performing seriously.
Just to add to that,
okay.
You know, one of the reasons why the federal government has decided to bridge the Lower River Niger is to ease its transportation, like I said, and then to add more meaning to our existing ports. At the moment, you know, we have six ports, and so government is constructing a number of river ports, and that is to ensure efficient movement of goods, particularly goods, you know, along the river channels. We have over 20 states that are linked to our inland waterways in the country, and we have about 12 rivers, creeks, and the rest. And therefore, these are great potentials that we really need to harness. And that is why government is so much determined. That's why government awarded the contract for the dredging of the Lower River Niger from Baro in Niger State to Warri in Delta State. The capital dredging, as you are aware, has been completed. Yes. What we are doing now is maintenance dredging, and already a number of services are being carried out along the channels.
All right, Honorable Minister, still talking about our waterways, you know, we've noticed that Nigerian importers always patronize Cotonou ports instead of Nigerian ports. Why do you think this is so?
Well, I think a number of reasons can be adduced for that. One, of course, you know that before now, we had so many agencies operating in the Nigerian ports. But the Mr. President directed not too long ago that steps must be taken to streamline these agencies, because quite often than not, these agencies constitute a kind of bottlenecks, most of them, because some of them rarely have been within the vicinity of the ports, but they are there. And therefore, Mr. President directed and set up a committee under the CME, and with myself as a member. And so we took steps and then sat down and then agreed that we needed to streamline the number of agencies. We reduced the number of agencies from 14 to 7 now operating in the ports. That was one of the problems that I can say had been, responsible for some of these diversions. And of course, secondly, of course, we have a number of prohibition lists. So many goods ordinarily that are prohibited here are not prohibited in Cotonou and other places. And of course, Nigeria, you know, is a developing country. Within the committee of
development. So how do you check that?
So excuse me, he's going to shed more light on that. It is his own area of jurisdiction. But just to emphasize the fact that it is not every good that you allow to float in your country. If you notice, even 70% or more of the goods that you talk about going to Cotonou are the vehicles. You know, most of these vehicles are 20 years old, 15 years old, 30 years old. Of course, in Nigeria, you have to check this. It's not every vehicle that you allow into the country. You know, yes.
All right, so go ahead and respond.
The issue of Cotonou Port and maybe Nigerian I explained earlier, certain program like that. With the current state of Nigerian Port Authority, especially in the container region, we are not in the same level with Cotonou. See, in terms of cargo management, what really happens is the people are going to Cotonou Port is simple. Your agent will tell you that you should bring in your cargo through Cotonou so that because Cotonou Port is cheaper for him to clear. Nigerian Port Authority and Cotonou are fully aware that that's not the case. The real case is that Cotonou has MOU with inter-countries like Niger Republic, Chad Republic, in which they receive their cargo through Cotonou Port. When you have such a MOU with the country, when the cargo lands, you just pay a minimal fee and take it. That means the cargo administration is supposed to be done in your country, as we are trying to do with inland ports. When the cargo lands in Lagos port, we just put it into a container with custom escorting, maybe to Kano or to Baro, wherever the inland port is, and that's why the cargo administration will take place. So what happens in Cotonou is that when it lands, it will land as they will now invoice or change the manifest that it's a transit cargo to the Niger Republic. Therefore, it's not clear. Once it's now exit the port as a transit cargo to the Niger Republic, it's now to or find its way in Nigeria. Then the importer will say, my cargo came in cheaper than Nigeria, but in fact, they didn't pay the dues. It has been smuggled inside the country. So that's the issue of Cotonou and Nigeria. And as the Honorable Minister explained, there are a lot of prohibition lists and still some of these things are really maybe Nigerians have high taste for other things. They want it in. Therefore, since you can't land in Lagos ports, where definitely it cease immediately once the prohibited cargo lands the port, they now land into Cotonou and find a way of
bringing it by road.
That's what happens.
All right. Okay, sorry, so before you ask, Honorable Minister, I just wanted to ask a question because you talked about dredging. Has the transportation, improved since the dredging of River Niger?
Obviously, especially the transportation of goods. Like I said, the maintenance dredging is on. And at the moment, we are just working on a strategy on how to engage the private sector. In fact, a lot of private investors and stakeholders have shown interest in patronizing the channel. Some few months back, I was at Ajaokuta to flag off the carriage of about 350 metric tons of ceramic tiles from one company from Ajaokuta to Onitsha. That is about 25 trailer loads. You can imagine if this were to fly the roads. And so equally a number of companies are discussing with the National Inland Waterways Authority with a view to patronizing the channel. As a matter of fact, NNPC, for one, has discussed extensively with the National Inland Waterways, and we do hope that when the refinery that is going to be established in Kogi State comes on stream, NNPC is going to patronize that channel by using barges to carry crude oil from the offshore to Kogi State.
Okay, Honorable Minister, I want to come back again to the railways, because indeed we all have seen that once the rails are working, transportation in Nigeria will be a lot easier. Nigerians remember with nostalgia, the days when they used to travel by rail, and it wasn't just the downtrodden or the average Nigerians, even elites, traveled through by rail, and because of course they were comfortable, they were nice, and they were pretty too. Plus the fact that people who will travel from intercity, some people work in Ibadan and come by rail to Lagos, some people walk, like that, they could travel, they could plan their time. For instance, Abuja, where accommodation is very expensive, some people may want to live in Nasarawa or Lokoja for that matter and come to Abuja to walk, but there's no railway. How soon are you promising Nigerians that this is going to be sorted out soon, and what should they expect?
Like I said, the rehabilitation of the existing narrow gauge is on, and we hope that by the end of this month and by early first and second week of July, the Lagos Kano will be on stream. The standard gauge. Yes, Lagos Kano will be on stream, and then of course the Port Harcourt Maiduguri will equally be on stream by the end of next year, hopefully. And of course, like I said before, that this year we are going to carry out a number of feasibility studies. The idea is to get the product with which to engage the private sector, to partner for the development of the modern rail system. Lagos, Abuja, it is our hope that when that is developed eventually under a PPP arrangement, you can leave Lagos and come to Abuja, walk, and then go back. It's 3.5 hours, 4 hours, maximum 4 hours. It's a high-speed type. The Abuja Kaduna, when it is completed, sometimes next year, because we hope that by early 2014, the Abuja Kaduna rail line will be on stream. And I believe people can leave Kaduna, come and walk in Abuja, and then go back the same day. Because you move at an average of 150, 180 kilometers per hour. And that will take you less than 2 hours from Kaduna to come to Abuja. Of course, while the rehabilitation is going on in Lagos, you see that passengers are utilizing the trains in Lagos. On the average, about 12,000 passengers are transported in Lagos using the existing navigation and existing rolling stock that we have. Equally, people move from Lagos to Ibadan to even to Ilorin daily, some 3 times a week, So I think we are already making a lot of progress.
Okay, Honorable Minister, still on to what do you think are the challenges right now? Are there any challenges in making this work?
Well, obviously there are challenges. In the rehabilitation for last year, for particularly Abuja Kaduna, for last year there was no budgetary allocation. However, the contractors did not leave site. They continued because of the intervention by the government. And but this year we have quite substantial funding in the budget for this line. And so we do hope that that is going to continue, and the phase at which the contractors are going on will be sustained. For the central corridor, the Jakarta rail line, of course we have a number of challenges in financing. Equally, we've discussed with the contractors, Julius Berger, and of course they are willing to continue to work, although we have some budgetary allocation for this year. There is, however, some outstanding, but then we believe that by next year we are going to clear all this.
All right, Engineer Omar, before we go, how viable will our waterways? How possible is it, to travel from one place to another, on the waterways? We know that Lagos State is doing something like that, moving from place to place to avoid, especially on the island. I remember moving from the island to Badagry, on water by speedboats. How viable is it for us to begin to see this kind of transport system on water in Nigeria?
Again, the inland transport in terms of ferries and it's not within my jurisdiction. And actually I will not be able to give you the financial data probability on that.
But is it possible?
Yes, it's possible. When I was a young engineer, we always come to work by ferry from Apapa to Marina and cross back. Even when we had cars, we park at Apapa and cross the ferry to Marina and go back. And it's very viable, I think. It's good for if we have people to invest into that.
Maybe let me chip in here just a bit. At the moment we have engaged a consultant, Royal Hascon, to work out strategies for us on how to utilize our inland waterways to resuscitate, the inland waterway transport system. Like you said, within Lagos and particularly within the Niger Delta area, we have there are quite a number of linkages, and therefore we just have to utilize this. We are already acquiring some ferries from our own end to complement or in addition to whatever the private sector will put in. We have to set the example. So government is acquiring a number of ferries. These ferries are going to be utilized between Lokoja to Onitsha up to Ori, and then from Calabar to Oron. In between those areas.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
This was quite an exposition. We've been joined by Senator Idris A. Umar, Honorable Minister of Transport, this morning, looking at the transport sector for the past 12 months during the President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. And we've also been joined by Engineer Umar Suleiman, Managing Director, Nigerian Ports Authority. Thank you for coming, gentlemen. It's a pleasure having you on Kaakaki. Now, of course, we're going to talk the business and sports. So up next, the sports business. Stay with us.
Welcome to Sport Business, a program designed to make you understand that sport is not just one of those social services. It is a mega billion-dollar industry, and that's what we're preaching in Nigeria. We trust God that we'll get there shortly. It's my pleasure to welcome you. Thank you for being there. I'm Godwin Spieth Sagbama. We'll be back after this break.
The trail, the business in the sports. Sports business. X-ray the business in the sports.
Welcome back. Sport Business News. Quickly, let's take these beats as we let you know that it is not over yet for Manchester City and Arsenal. There is a confrontation between both clubs, this time in China, just before the Olympic Games Open. It is called the Chinese Cup, and Man City, Arsenal have been invited to be part of it. It's a big money is involved, and that match comes up on July, okay? So watch out for Arsenal, Man City. There will be another confrontation in China in the Chinese Cup with some good money to cut away. And from there, we can tell you also that the Japanese Capitals B, that's in Tokyo, be there to host the Grand Secured Olympics, but the Prime Minister is saying that as much as he loves to support, they must give guarantee, especially from the private sector, as government alone cannot fund the beach. And the last but not the very least for today also has to do with London 2012. The UK Sport Minister, Hugh Robertson, has claimed that the Olympics is likely to deliver under predicted public budget of £9.6 billion. So expectedly, the profits and everything calculated in it, you know how they do it. The figures must be accurate. The profits have been projected, and of course they are also preparing to have some persons that will come in and may just take refuge in London or England as it is. That's a sport beat on sport business. We'll be back after this time out on the executive guest segment. We'll have back with us a man who is always on the move. Tracking him sometimes can be difficult, but thank God he's back with us. We'll be back.
Not just the trail, the business in the sports. Sports business. X-ray the business in the sports.
Welcome back to the executive guest segment of Sport Business. Welcome with us, Barrister Dudu Oroma. It's good to have you back.
Thank you very much.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I know that most people didn't even know that you're a Chelsea supporter. Even before the resurgence of Chelsea, so to speak.
Well, professionally, it won't be ethical for people to be able to take it out of what I say. I have a responsibility to present football and sports objectively. So my being a Chelsea fan,
does not in any way.
No, it does not in any way. In fact, in the last 3 years, I'm one of Chelsea's strongest critics. And then, of course, like I say to people, I became a Chelsea fan when Roman Abramovich was probably about 7 years old. So I'm not the Roman army. I'm the original Chelsea fan.
Original one, not the fluke ones who just come because they won the trophy and they want to identify.
Yeah.
Or maybe they probably like blue as a color.
Yeah, but, that is a good thing about Nigerians. They like a winning side. And if you remember, even the Super Eagles, many years ago, they used to be known as Papa Eagles. But when they started winning,
they became super.
Super.
All right, we will take a lot of things into play today. I know you have a big project coming up. We cannot but talk about it. And, of course, there is this steering committee put together by Nigerian Football Federation.
No, not
to look at Nigerian football, put up a roadmap to the development of the game. I mean, what's your take in all this?
Well, sometimes the mixed bag makes for interesting times, and then it's also or it becomes imperative for us to look into it, decipher what is this, what is it for, and the rest of it. If I get you right, the committee that Sanitoro is chairman, I think is one of Megari's public relations gambits, trying to pacify more people, create jobs for those who otherwise be on the other side. Because in my opinion, that assignment belongs to the technical committee of the Football Federation. And they have any doubt in terms of what should be sports development, the aggregate of it we already know. Also the aggregate of the problems of Nigerian football we already know. If they just take a very good look at that NFF statute of 2006 and rest it, our problems may just be...
And say, we are done with this, let's...
Yeah, let us go back to the old NFA
and the way it is going?
Without a doubt, and sports business will be involved in the December activity because we want to bring all our football is very poorly coached. We want to bring all the trainers in the academy because if each academy produces just one player, there are about 500 academies in Nigeria. We stop using grandfathers in under 17.
Thank you so very much. All right, we'll take a break and we'll be back.
Not just a thrill, the business in the sports. Sports business. X-ray the business in the...
Being there with us today, next week, same station, same time, we'll be back, and hopefully Barrister Dudu Orume would be able to tell us how it all went, the launch, and the academy hereafter. I'm Godwin Steve Sagbama. Thank you. Next week, same station as always. We'll be back. God bless you.
Thanks for staying with us. Time now for Pan-African World. It's the top of the second hour this Friday morning on your breakfast show, Kaakaki B, African Voice. The Deputy President of the Nigerian Senate, Ike Ekweremadu, has ruled out the possibility of the Nigerian government extending amnesty to terrorist groups. Senator Ekweremadu was speaking in Abuja on Thursday when he granted audience to members of the Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria. The Senate earlier adopted the report of its ad hoc committee on the mortalization of senators. Egypt's decades-long state of emergency came to an end on Thursday after its last renewal expired. The ruling military said in a statement vowing to continue to protect the nation. The statement said that the military will continue its national and historic responsibility, taking into account the state of emergency has ended in accordance with the constitutional declaration and with the law. It said it will continue in that role until it hands over power, as it has promised to do, to an elected president by the end of June. Two American tourists kidnapped in Egypt's Sinai Peninsula by Bedouin tribesmen were released on Thursday after less than 24 hours of captivity. Security and government officials said the two men were in good health and police were escorting them to safe place where they were due to meet the South Sinai governor. The officials said they had been abducted near the Red Sea resort of Dahab late on Wednesday by Bedouin demanding the release of a tribesman jailed for drug possession. Tunisia's Prime Minister Hamadi Djebali says Tunisians have lost patience with hardline Islamists sowing violence in the country, and authorities will deal firmly with any such groups who believe they are charged by God to purify society. The statements by Prime Minister Djebali were the sternest warning yet against Salafi Muslims who have attacked police stations and other sites while demanding rigid Islamic law in the nation still emerging from years of secular dictatorship. They follow criticism that the new government, which is led by a moderate Islamist party, has been too timid in dealing with the hardliners. African Union and Somali government forces have captured the town of Afmado, a strategic militant base in the south of the country. Commanders say the Islamist Al-Shabaab group abandoned the town without a fight as their troops approached. Afmado is the second largest town in the south and only 115 kilometers of Kismayo, Al-Shabaab's headquarters. Despite facing pressure on a number of military fronts, the Al-Qaeda group still controls much of the country. That's Pan-African World. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us.
Well, a very good morning to you, and of course this is Friday, the last edition for this week of Kaakaki B, African Voice. But enough of that, I don't want to bore you with that, because I'm sure you're already in the mood, so now we say to let your head down and get into the groove. Today is World Milk Day. Somebody was asking me what type of milk, but I think it's all types of milk. Frozen milk, milk in the sachet, tinned milk, milk in general.
Today's World Milk Day.
The nutritious importance of milk, all the milk family. Yes, today's World Milk Day. And there's a package on that. Let's take a look.
You're welcome to Kaakaki B African Voice. My name is Kaakaki B. As Nigeria joins the rest of the world to mark World Milk Day, this Friday, the 1st of June, 2012, we are being joined in our studio today by the Corporate Affairs Manager of Friesland Campina Wamco Nigeria PLC to discuss this important issue, the World Milk Day. And we'll be looking at the importance of milk to healthy living. Ore Famiwa, you're welcome to Kaakaki this morning.
Thank you, Kenley.
Now let's go straight to the topic, the World Milk Day. How did this celebration come about?
Well, the World Milk Day was created by the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And this was done in the year 2001. So this year actually marks the 11th year of celebrating the World Milk Day. Now, why did FAO create World Milk Day? Because they saw the importance of putting milk at its rightful position. They thought it highly necessary to reflect on what milk is all about, the importance of milk as a natural food, as a unique food, a special food that has absolutely all the nutritional values that you can think about. That is why the World Milk Day was created in the first place.
Okay, why is Friesland Campina so involved in this celebration?
Well, Friesland Campina, to tell you a little bit about the company, Royal Friesland Campina are based in the Netherlands, and we are a global conglomerate, and we have companies all over the world, and affiliates all over the world. And as a company, as a milk company or dairy company, we thought it highly necessary to tell the world about the goodness of milk. Because yes, we are the milk experts. We know all about milk. We have a lot of information about milk, and constantly we are researching to find out more about milk. What are the benefits that you can gain as a human from milk? We know this, but we thought it highly necessary to work as partners with FAO and tell the world about milk. So right now today, you find that in all of our locations across the world, both in Africa, in Europe and Asia, World Milk Day is being celebrated by our companies all around, albeit differently. For us here in Nigeria, we have lined up some key activities to celebrate the day. First of all, we started with a one-week activation in schools, and what we basically did was go to various junior secondary schools as well as primary schools around Lagos to tell them what milk is, the importance of milk. Why do you as a child have to drink milk every day? And the theme for this year is drink milk every day. However, we use a very unique and what we call the big idea, which is the biggest milk smack. So what we're doing basically, when we go to the schools, we sample the children, we allow them to drink a glass cup of peak milk, and then they milk a very lovely milk muffin. Their pictures are taken and given to them as a memoir. And that for us we think is very exciting, is very interesting. And we didn't only leave it alone to the school children, we're taking it out to the Nigerian public.
Having built out all this, the benefits of the intake of milk, how is your company, Friesland Campina, taking this milk to the doorsteps of Nigeria at affordable price?
The company, Friesland Campina Wamco Nigeria, has been in Nigeria since 1973. Incorporated in 1973, but we started local production in 1975 of peak evaporated milk. We are locally producing in Nigeria, and we do have various factories, both the can factory, the evaporated milk factory, as well as what we call the peak or the advanced cashew factory, and of course the powder factory. What we basically do is to ensure that milk is manufactured using the very best techniques and ensuring that high quality milk comes out to the Nigerian consumer. Right now, we are aware that we also have people amongst us who cannot readily afford milk, and that was why in 2009 we had a scientific breakthrough, a breakthrough technology that won us an award all over the world, because it was for the first time in the world that milk was to be manufactured in a sachet, and we were able to break through that through various researches that we've done. As you can see, this is the peak EVAP sachet. The peak EVAP sachet is the same as the evaporated milk that you find in the 170-gram can. What we've basically done is to put it in an affordable package, in an affordable format, so that people who are at the bottom of the pyramid, people who are not able to afford the bigger format, or people who are earning less than $1 a day, can still drink milk every day. Because when you drink milk every day, you save yourself from going to the hospital, you save yourself from falling ill intermittently. When you drink milk, it keeps you very healthy and it keeps you strong and healthy. And that's why, to be honest with you, milk does help even to support your immunity. So when you drink milk, you are not easily susceptible to diseases. And that's why young children drink at peak 1 to 3.
Okay. Now, there's this question I won't let you go without giving us answer to. Talking about giving back to the Nigerian community. You said you've been there for a long time. I want you to tell us precisely what you have done as giving back to the community that has sustained you thus far.
Well, we are Freefund Campaigner One Nigeria. We were a company who knows its onions. We know that you just do not operate in a community or in a society make all the profits that you want to make without giving back. So we found the right balance between profit and philanthropy, because as we know, these days you just do not, it's not just about giving money to charity or just giving milk to charity. What we've done is to identify certain key issues that are happening around us in the society. For example, we have plenty of water in Nigeria, but very little of it can actually be called potable. And that's why we've gone to needy communities across Nigeria, across the full geopolitical school zones, to find out these communities and to give them water. And not just water, but standard water according to the WHO standards. And we've also used the solar energy to power communities. Not just that, we're also funding researches in key tertiary institutions across the country. Think about 6 tertiary institutions that are benefiting from that, and they've been doing that over the years. So they're able to research into some key topical subjects that will eventually benefit the country as a whole. And then apart from that, we also have adopted some schools. These are public schools, non-fee paying schools. And in those schools, we've done quite a lot. Some we've given ICT centers, with internet facilities, so that they can also be able to compete well with their private school counterparts in this age of academic competition. We've also given textbooks, blackboards, and we've helped also in refurbishing some dilapidated structures as well, and as well as giving out reading tables and all of that. And we believe it's sustainable and it's a two-way thing. So we go there to help them as farmers. We collect their milk, and then they are also the better for it. So all of this milk is being used in our factory. We are ISO certified. We have the ISO 9001 2008, which is for quality systems, but quality is our watchword. We are also ISO 22000 2005 certified for food safety. So we ensure that whatever we bring out from our factory to the consumers are foolproof, are of high quality, consistent quality, creamy, tasty, and delicious.
If you're just joining us, this is Kaakaki B, African Voice, and today, 1st of June 2012, is World Milk Day. And I've been joined in the studio here by Ore Famurewa. She's the Corporate Affairs Manager of Freefund Campaigner One PLC. And we have been looking at this all-important day. Will your organization continue to propagate World Milk Day?
I can already tell you, sure, yes, we will. Absolutely, yes. Because, like I said, milk is very, very dear to our heart. It's very passionate about milk. And because we are passionate about meat, we want to tell the whole world, we want to tell Nigerians, and in fact Sub-Saharan Africa, that milk is very special. Though it may look ordinary when you pour into a glass, you see all the white content, but it's extremely packed full of nutrients. And when you take just one glass of milk a day, you are assured that you have absolutely all of the key nutrients that you need, that you require for your recommended daily allowance, for an adequate diet. That is why we do that. I didn't finish telling you already about the other programs lined up. Apart from the school activation, we're also encouraging all Nigerians to go on Facebook. The address is facebook.com/pigmilk. When you go on Facebook, what we want you to do is simply to drink a glass cup of milk, called a glass cup of pig milk, I dare say, and then show off your biggest milk smile. Post it on Facebook, and you might win 1 year supply of pig milk. We're going to start from June 2012 to June 2013. That household who gets the best likes on Facebook will win that. But the catch there really is also giving back, like you rightly mentioned. Each photo that you post on Facebook translates instantly to 1 sachet of milk. So we encourage everyone, all Nigerians, go ahead and post your picture on the Facebook, because every picture, every milk picture you post on the Facebook translates to a sachet of milk, and that sachet of milk will be put together and donated to charity at the end. And we're going to ensure that we invite the entire media to cover the event when we take the milk to charity.
So thank you very much for coming on Kaakaki. Now, as a parting shot, are you now recommending that a glass of milk a day to keep the doctor away?
Absolutely, Kende. I also thought we should share a glass of. Have you had your milk today, by the way? Trying to encourage Nigerians. I mean, everybody takes tea, coffee, or you put milk in your cereal, but also drink milk straight. It's the culture is a little bit new for us, but we want to encourage our children, and then they will also encourage their own children. So may I have the opportunity to serve you?
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much.
So today is World Milk Day. So cheers.
Cheers.
Drink milk every day. That's what we tell Nigerians.
Thank you very much. Yes, I'm sure you can feel me taking that glass of milk this morning. Well, go out there and get your own and take a glass of milk a day. You've heard from her that a glass of milk a day will keep the doctor away. We have been looking at the World Milk Day today, the 1st of June, 2012. And as I told you earlier, I've been speaking with Ore Famrewa. She's the Corporate Affairs Manager of the Friesland Campina Wamco PLC. Ore, thank you for coming on Kaakaki this morning.
Thank you, Kente.
We'll now take you back to Abuja for the continuing part of Kaakaki the African Voice. My name is Ken Jojo. Thanks for staying with us.
Yeah, that was so fair. You just sat down there, drank your milk, and
then you're handing over to us without milk. And today is World Milk Day. You're going to pay for that.
You have to send milk home. You said a milk a day throws the doctor away. You see where he said that.
Exactly what you said. So you're going to pay. But we can accept the monetary equivalent of that milk.
No, I want that milk.
From that woman, Abi?
Yes. Said that me.
Anyway, all right. Of course, you know that there's no way our Friday will be complete without our social diary program, TED. Now time to bring you our weekly social diary program, events, people, and places. Today's package is a delightful menu of a wedding ceremony, a children's day party, and a constituency visit by one of Nigeria's senators. Without much ado, Manya Wachuku, our girl, is on hand to bring us all the details.
Hello, and thanks for staying with us. I'm so glad to know you're there. And it is time for our every Friday rendezvous. People, events, and places PEP. I am Manya Nwachuku. Today on the lineup, you will share in the joy of a wedding ceremony held in Onitsha, southeast Nigeria. An event commemorating this year's Children's Day in Abuja, the Nigerian capital. And also an event to say thank you to the people of Anambra South Senatorial Zone, southeast Nigeria. Wondering what that is all about? Well, your guess is as good as mine. So, let's set the ball rolling. Now, let's bring you the colorful wedding of Rita Iduche's daughter, one of Nigeria's popular actresses, Nkiru, who tied the knots with her heartthrob Emeka Ibekwe in Onitsha, Anambra State, southeast Nigeria. People, events and places was there and brings you highlights of the event.
The solemnization of Nkiru and Emeli took place at St. Mary's Catholic Church in Onitsha, Anambra State. After the service, the couple broke the norm of driving in a car. Instead, they used a coach to convey them to the reception ground. One of Nigeria's finest comedians claimed the drum and cut the event.
Indian language. Ataba. What should you do on your wedding day? Reply in Indian language. Hey! Oya, will you marry me? Indian language. Amita Bata. Oya, right to each other. Slow motion, slow motion, slow motion, slow motion. And it's going, and it's going, and it's going. J E S U R Q E 17 S.
For such occasion, there must be words of advice and prayer for the couple.
Wish them the goodness of life. I wish them long life and prosperity.
Pray and hope they will live together like their parents did. And I pray that they have a lot of children.
For the bride's mother, Rita Iduche, her joy knew no bound. Here we wish you a happy married life.
Children from various orphanage homes gathered at the Abuja Children's Home to mark this year's edition of the Every Child Deserves to Learn Initiative Children's Day celebration. The project is aimed at caring for the vulnerable groups across Nigeria. People, events and places was there. Children from various orphanage homes were gathered at the Abuja Children's Home for this year's celebration of Every Child Deserves to Learn Initiative Children's Day and charity celebrations. Organizers of the event say this will be an annual event.
We're here to celebrate and mark the Children's Day event with the less privileged children. It's part of a sequel to our annual events. The last one was done at City of Refuge, so this one we chose this orphanage home because of the way it runs its daily activities here.
Children from the orphanage homes rendered songs to mark the day.
Because you love them so, now only you I know. Now only you we know. Because you love them so, now only you we know.
A guest artist from Lagos also thrilled the children and has this to say.
It's just kind of taken to see them as little as they are and as big as they are, you know, without the support of their parents. So I came here to show love and support the good work ECDL has been doing.
Youth Corps members too were not left out.
I am just here to celebrate with the children and give them a meaning and tell them they can actually become someone great. And I came here with these uniforms to give them a hope that they too can wear this copper uniform So that's just why I'm here, just to touch their lives.
The children had lots to eat and drink. Gift items were also distributed to the children. One of the orphans say he believes the future is bright for him.
I want to tell the outside Nigeria that they should be good and they should not think that they don't have hope, that they have hope. I want to say thank you to the people that organized this party. I want to say God bless them.
Thank you,
Every Child Deserves to Learn is a non-governmental charity organization founded in 2010. Senator Andy Uba, member representing Anambra South Senatorial Zone, recently celebrated with his constituency for their support during the March 20 rerun election. Senator Uba, during the tour of the zone, thanked the people for the resilience and support throughout what he called trying periods. Ebere Obiako was there for people, events and places.
The thank you visit took him to the 7 local government areas that made up the Anambra South Senatorial Zone. They are Aguata, Orumba South, Orumba North, Ihiela, Nnewi South, Ekwusigo and Nnewi North local government areas. In all the local government areas, his arrival was heralded with shouts of joy as various musical groups through the audience. Senator Andy Uba's joy knows no bound as he tried to appreciate the people of his zone for being solidly behind him throughout the campaign period and the rerun election.
So that make my election and make it our election and election is going to make it our election I get in our route to no one. What election I get with you in union okay, Waka. But I don't want to see that day, no, but I do. Now I get an election and I got through the vote. I don't know through vote, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get sweaty. Don't want them around. Don't want them to say, I get you distracted. Only one I want to hear, I mean, with a single vote. So now they make a Lulu. Now go nowhere.
In his usual manner, Senator Uba, who attributed his victory to God, reaffirmed his commitment to the well-being of the people of Anambra South Senatorial District and beyond. Though he was elected under the People's Democratic Party, PDP, but the turnout was irrespective of one's political leaning. Ideally, one would have expected the people of the senatorial zone to reel out their catalogue of needs to their distinguished senator, but surprisingly, they are full of praises.
I've done much for Ekwusigo.